Sir and ma'am, before beginning with the interview, I'd like to take your blessings to begin with the interview. So the first question, as it says, Sir and ma'am, before we get to know about your insights and outlooks, we would love to know more about this dynamic duo sitting in front of us. Kindly tell us about your childhood days and experiences that have shaped you into the people you are today.
Thank you for the question, Aditya and Ayushi. Such a pleasure to see all of you Sunbeams here in one of the best schools in this entire Uttar Pradesh, that is Sunbeam School, Varuna. Only yesterday we found out that the IIT JEE topper for the 6th time was a boy from your school. So class 12, we can have a big hand to start on. Before we talk about anything else, we can talk about how Sunbeam is totally, Varuna especially, overpowering the entire Uttar Pradesh with this beautiful, wonderful school. So, experience from my childhood. Well, I was only 4 years old or something when I was put into a school in a hostel, and my parents had gone abroad. So I was like a little boy lost, and hostel experience in the hills schools, and in those days there was no phone, no mobile, no TV, and this is, I'm talking of 1961. From 61 to 63, 64 I was like a little boy in a hostel in a school, and I used to cry a lot because my mother and father had left me. I used to be very, very sad. But I think that was the most best experience. Today I find that most of my discipline, most of my toughness, most of my focus was only because I was alone and I gathered confidence.
I would like to share, dear students, that my childhood was in Faridabad, and Faridabad was established post-partition because most of the refugees, people who had to leave their homes in Pakistan, they were Hindus and they were asked to choose which country you would like to now choose. So my grandparents, my grandfather, my grandmother, everyone, they had to leave everything behind, and they were given those small tents to stay in Faridabad. It's a big community, they must be in thousands. And out of that community, whosoever was educated was given jobs of that kind. People who were not educated, they became something else. Someone started making houses, but they segregated educated and non-educated people. And that is where, when my grandmother, because in those days, imagine 1947, a lady being 10th pass, only high school, was considered to be an educated person, and my grandfather had done 12. So both of them got jobs. My grandfather started teaching in a B.Ed college. He was given a government job, and my grandmother, she became a teacher in a school. And that is when my family realized the importance of education. It is not money, not at all. People who think that money is everything under the sun, no. Your education. Otherwise, if you are not educated well, even if you inherit a lot of money, you will not know how to use it, and you will waste it. You will not, and nothing stays forever except for your knowledge. So that is where the belief that education is the most important thing. My father, my mother, everyone, and when I was born, and in those days there used to be a lot of children. So we are 4. I'm the eldest, and my brother is 2 years younger to me, and then 2 years old. We are 4 together. So we were not attended as well as you are. Because if you have 4 children, if your mother has 4 children, and your mother has to reach school at 7 in the morning, because my mother was also a teacher, So, can you imagine? She had to prepare 4 lunch boxes, give it to us, and leave for her own work at 7 in the morning, and all the children had to go in the rickshaws or buses. Buses were not there, it was rickshaws. So, childhood was tough. But I appreciate that. Today, if we can work so much, if we are not VIPs, we know we have to fend up for ourselves, we cannot complain to anyone. Whatever I have to do it myself. So that goes a long way. So that was my childhood. I studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya, Faridabad. It was an Air Force school, and that's from there my school journey started.
I studied in a boarding school in Shimla, and it was a very good boarding school, one of the best. So I had initially my English, my sports, and then because a boarding school makes you very tough and confident. I'm sure all the boarders there will agree with me that hostel life really prepares you for anything in the world.
Thank you so much, sir and ma'am. Sir, as you mentioned about you getting into a boarding school at the very young age of 4, what advice would you like to give to the boarders, as many times day boarders find it difficult to switch from day boarding to boarding? So what is the piece of advice you would like to give to the boarders today?
I think the earlier in your life you are on your own. You are on your own means you look after yourself, your health, your eating, your exercise, your aims in life, your study. The earlier you are, the more you become tougher and stronger, and then you succeed in life. And because many of us are sent to boarding school, and we initially I was also very sad because being a boy of only 4 years old. But if you go to a boarding school and you are with friends and teachers and you are on your own, and then you realize how you can be. It can be for girls as well, or boys and girls. Boarding school is a great experience. It's a life experience. I want everyone to know that at least some time you must spend on your own in a boarding school.
I also highly recommend hostel, though I have never studied in a hostel, and that is something my parents couldn't afford it. So, but children who get a chance, you will see in real life they'll be more independent in taking decisions because they have to fend for themselves. When a new boarder joins the school, the boarder has to fight for his own identity. He or she has to prove to everyone around that yes, I can also be an active member of the group, and also make your own relations. There is no one coming from outside to help you, to keep your shoes at the place, or to clean your room, or to even put your classwork, homework, things or in your bag. Because children who are staying with the parents, sometimes I see parents helping them in even settling the bag. Okay, today you have a Hindi period, don't forget your Hindi book. But when you are in the hostel, you have to do it yourself.
So this is also called helicopter parenting. You know what's helicopter parenting? Your parents are above you like a helicopter. So they tell you, get up at 6 o'clock. You don't want to get up at 6 o'clock. They have to wake you up. Get up, my dear child. And only when every day your father or mother is putting the alarm clock, bringing some chai or bringing something to you, you feel this is not good. You have to do it yourself. And that is what happens in hostel.
Indeed, sir and ma'am. Sir and ma'am, how do you see the concept of failure in the context of learning and growth? And how can teachers help students embrace failure as a stepping stone towards success?
Alright, embracing failure as a stepping stone to success. There is Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great used to say, I welcome failures. He used to say that every failure teaches me 100 things, whereas success only teaches me 1 or 2 things. So a failure is a stepping stone to a higher success. So don't be afraid of failures. And when somebody throws stones at you, it means you are ahead of that person, and you quietly pick up the stones and make a wall around you. So failure is a stepping stone to success.
I would also like to add here that whenever you face disappointments or failures, if your resolve is there that yes, you will overcome, and if you fail in something, you learn lessons. Sure? Whether it is your, suppose you lose a game, you are playing a football match and you lose a football match, all of us, we sit down and analyze. Even any annual function, any small parents teachers meeting, after that you must have seen your principal sitting and taking a feedback session. Why so? Because in case there is anything which was missed out on or which could improve, that thing is brought on the table. No one shies away to accept that here things could have been better. So anyone who can face the truth, I failed because probably I did not put enough effort, that person is a winner. And sometimes when you win, you don't learn any lessons. You think that all your life you'll keep winning. That will not be true. Failures are a very, very important part of anyone growing up. I wish you a lot of failures so that you become strong in mind, in body, so that you can face those failures as well as disasters sometime.
Thank you, sir, ma'am. Nowadays, students tend to be a lot more sensitive towards their surroundings. They cannot bear the pressure of failure. So how do we internalize this feeling of failure as a positive step of evolution, and how do we grow from it?
See, when Edmund Hillary conquered with Tenzing Norgay, Everest, so at that time the oxygen cylinders were too big. Okay, if I'm suppose 70 kilograms in weight, the oxygen cylinders and the clothes, because the temperature there was minus 20 or minus 30. So the clothes were very heavy. They were always near 70 kilograms of body weight, and the clothes were almost 50 kilograms. So it was very tough to go up in those days, 1952, 1951. Now the oxygen cylinders are very, very light. The clothes are super light. All those fiber clothes are then so light that they are hardly 5 to 10 kilograms. It's very easy now. But Edmund Hillary went 18 times and did not succeed. Nobody ever thinks about that. And the 19th time when he succeeded, everybody thinks about that. So if you fail 18 times, it is okay. Succeed in the final battle of life. Doesn't matter class 5 I got 10th rank. Doesn't matter class 9th I got only 5th rank. But in my IAS exam, in my UPSC exam, I will succeed. I will become an officer. I will become an engineer. I will become a doctor in the final exam. So there is always a tomorrow. Because today is the first day of my life for the rest of my life. Then again tomorrow. So tomorrow, we met a mountaineer in Kathmandu last week, and he is in that 14 Peaks Netflix documentary. If you want to see it, it's called 14 Peaks. He's 32 years old, 30 years old, and he has climbed 14 peaks. Okay? And his favorite quotation in that film is, in fact, Amrita ma'am was there and we all met him. We want to bring him to Sunbeam Varuna. His famous quote was, "I will not die today." Because when you're climbing straight and you look down, it's 20,000 feet. Nanda Devi, Annapurna Devi. Those are the mountains. And if you fail, you will die. Here the failure is not failure in maths or science. Here the failure is you just go down 10,000 feet, you will die. So he said in that movie, I will not die today. If he doesn't die today, there is no tomorrow. Because tomorrow is again a today. Okay? So failure is never permanent. Success is a lesson.
Of course, sir.
I would like to add here, like, as you said, how to cope up with failures. Most of us suffer from self-pity. Hi, main bichara. Hi, main bichari. I want this bichara word should not exist in your dictionary. And I request all the teachers or all the elders also never to use this word bichara. No one is a bichara.
One more word you add also. Thakna nahi hai. Nobody is a bichara and nobody will be tired. These are two things, remember that.
When we, we call it self-pity. We all suffer from self-pity. We keep, wondering, hi, aaj bahut maine yaar. I have to do so much, I have to do. We keep complaining. We keep feeling sorry for ourselves that we had to do so much. We had to face certain problems. I would say each problem you will become stronger. Every day, running so many institutions, so many schools, sometimes you people think that, what is sir doing? He is coming, going, taking around, sitting in the car and going home. Morning 6 to evening, you don't know when the day will end. And how many problems in one day sir faces, sir solves, and that is why he is so strong today. Because with each problem, there is an opportunity. Whether it is your maths ka problem, when you solve a sum, you go on a higher level, isn't it? Whether it is your physics equation, you go on a higher level. So each problem is an opportunity. Don't ever feel sorry for yourself. Rather, welcome these problems, and that is what will, it's like stepping stones to success.
Just write down somewhere. You have copies or something? Okay. Write down one sentence which will sum up all what he has asked, what Aditya has asked and Ayushi has asked. At the back, everybody take out your pens and pencils. Write down something which does not kill you. Something which does not kill you makes you stronger. Something which does not kill you makes you stronger. Okay? Is it clear? So unless something kills you, alright, something kills you, you're not there after that. So the problem is solved. But if you are still there, it will make you stronger.
Of course, sir, we truly resonate with that. Now, sir, you talked about examinations, right? So nowadays, there's a lot of pressure among students to prepare for examinations, and then we, break down under that pressure. So we'd love to know what was your strategies back in the day to tackle examinations and do them with a nice smile on your face.
See, pressure is like a gym. How many of you go to the gym? Some of you must be going to the gym, but I think above 16 are allowed only, or above 18. Anyways, pressure is like practicing something and getting used to it. Do you know that the soldiers who are in Ladakh or Leh have only 30% oxygen, and the cold there is like minus 15 or 20 degrees? They have got used to that pressure. So get used to pressure. Once you are used to pressure and tension and examination, it will all become very easy for you. If you study 20 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, after 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, it will become easy for you. That is how you get toppers. And about examinations, you treat examinations as a test, as a building block. Every time you build bigger and bigger endurance, your body will get used to it. And one day, like we always say, if you study for 4 years now, you will be able to rest for 40 years. So now the formula is very, very easy when you talk about exams.
I would also suggest here that when you say we take stress because there is so much you have to do. First of all, start by knowing yourself. All of us, we are all different. God has made us different. So what is our strength? What is I am good at? Rather than making a list of things which we are not good at. We hardly talk about ourselves. And if at all we talk about ourselves, we talk in negative. I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, I'm weak in maths, There is a lot of things which we say I'm not good at. I want you to reverse the things. First, make a list of things which you are good at. You are good at making friends, you are good at in the sports field, you are good at music, you are good at art. You make people laugh. You help others. You smile a lot. You walk with confidence. If these are your strengths, make a list of things of your strength first. And once you know what you are good at, and then be reasonable to you. Not because someone else is going for sciences and wants to become a doctor or engineer. Do not ever take that pressure. You can decide for yourself, I think I can be a good artist. I love music. Follow your passion. Anyone who has the courage of following their own passion will be successful. Yes, I understand that you have to study also. You have to do class 12th, you have to pass exams, you have to do grads, and some of you will go for post-grad also. But your passion should go parallelly. Don't be very unkind on yourself. So, you have to decide for yourself and be courageous enough to decide for yourself. Another thing, never take your studies or your subjects as if they are too difficult. Tell yourself that I can do. And if you get good teachers in the junior section, if your basics are clear, and that is why I highly recommend and I highly respect the teachers of the junior school. I recommend all the parents, if they want to put their child in Sunbeam, bring the child early to us. Bring the child in the junior section so that we can give a strong, good foundation to the child. Because on the foundation can we have a strong, big building. Another thing, enjoy what you are learning. आप उसको बोझ की तरह लोगे, हाय पढ़ना है. Or tell yourself, let me see. The moment you solve one question, that sense of achievement is there. That yes, I could do. And winning is just a habit. So I want all of you to enjoy what you are doing. Tell yourself, पढ़ने में मजा है and मजा आने लगेगा.
Of course, ma'am. So now the word of friends has come up. I'd like to ask a question. Nowadays, where friendships are so fast-paced, we don't talk to our friends after some fight, or we just, drift away immediately. So as people who have had such a long experience and have met such interesting people, how would you describe the entire process of getting a good friend and keeping that friend for years?
So when I walked into class 8 in Kendriya Vidyalaya VHU, I was studying there, this is 1967, 66. So I met a boy and he's my friend even today. He's a professor in the university, he was the dean also. And from that day onwards, I found that he used to sit with me on the same desk. together. And that friendship, because at that time we were both equal to each other, and that friendship still survives. So finding a friend is like, it's a wavelength. If you connect with somebody, you keep that friend forever. You keep contact with that friend. These days you have so many social media things like Instagram or you have Facebook. You can always keep in touch with your friend even if he is in New York. But making a good friend, because you are the sum total of 5 friends around you. If the 5 friends, one is good in cycling, you will also try to do cycling. If one of them has got a very good handwriting, then you will also try to go. If one of them only sleeps in the class, then you also want to sleep in the class. So choose your friends wisely. Choose the best people in the classroom as your friends.
I would also give the same advice to each one of you. As sir has rightly said, you are an average of 5 people around you. So today, you just see who your 5 friends are. Are they helping you to grow, helping you to achieve, or they are pulling you down? If they are pulling you down, that is where you have to decide for yourself. Also, mantra of having a good friend is be one. Be a good friend yourself first. Anyone who really wants to have a good friend, you should know how to be a good friend first. Be nice to people. And what is your definition of a friend? Someone who is helpful, someone who stands by you, who understands you, who gives you all the moral support whenever needed, and who challenges you and helps you to become better. So, exactly the same thing you have to do with others. The moment you start doing the same to others, you will obviously get good friends. So be a good friend yourself first.
Of course, ma'am. Being a good friend to oneself leads to being a good friend to others. Now, before we conclude with the long answers of the interview and move on to the rapid fire round, I'd like to ask one last question. So, ever since the inception of Sunbeam as a whole in 1972, this has been a very dynamic journey. So, what is one lesson that each of you have learned from this journey that which you wish that students will imbibe in themselves too?
Since I was there from the day one when Sunbeam started, and I'm lucky to be here with you today. That was 1972, July, 10th of July, and it was my mother's birthday also. Now that corner, September was her birthday, and everybody was saying. And we had a rented house, and there was a board which was going to be put. My mother asked me to get some poles to put that board, to fix that board. We didn't have any workers also. I was studying in the BHU in BSc Part 1. So with the help of my younger brother, we put that board, and the board was Sunbeam Nursery and Junior School. So that is one experience which I want to tell you. And we had only 38 students in a rented building. There were 3-4 rooms in that building. So that is the first thing which I want to tell you. The second thing which I want to tell you about the amazing journey is that keep walking. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But if there is a direction, keep on walking towards the direction with clarity, with courage, with honesty, and collect people. Be honest to people. It's not only friends, it's with your staff also. If you have a heart for your staff and you see your staff members going in the rain, run to them, give them an umbrella. If they don't have a good car, give them a good car. If they have some problem in their family, help them. That is the mantra of creating a wonderful team. And let me tell you, Ayush and Aditi, when you grow up and come back to Sunbeam once again, you will find a revolution which is called Sunbeam because of the wonderful team here. It's the team, it's Principal Ma'am, You know that your principal ma'am stays here for up to 7 o'clock in the evening mostly. And I remember once in the winter days I was coming back from Delhi and I saw the lights were on in the office and I asked her, "Ma'am, please go home." She doesn't go out to go home because she loves the school so much. The same about Manju ma'am, the same about all your teachers, Nandita ma'am, everybody here sitting in Kanchyam sir, Hostel superintendent. I can name everybody sitting in this hall who are so dedicated, and that's the reason why there is a team.
Okay, my lesson from the journey of Sunbeam is A, have a good vision. Personally also, imagine yourself 10 years from now. Where do you want to see yourself? If Sir is there from 1972 in Sunbeam, I'm there from 1979. So I'm just 5 years junior to him when it comes to 7 years. 79, yeah, okay. So I joined him in 79, so I'm not much junior, right? But you know that clarity of thought, and when we started working at Sunbeam, yes, Sunbeam's name was good. Yes, it was nice, upcoming school, but still, I had to send my boys to some other school. And that is when I decided, no, it should not happen. I have to make my Sunbeam number one, and it has to be number one choice of anyone staying in the city. And once you have that clarity of vision, then automatically, and if you have that resolve, so even God helps you. किसी चीज को बहुत शिद्दत से चाहो, तो पूरी कायनात helps you. So this is what has worked for Sunbeam: clear vision, passion, and persistence. So these are the three words you can carry it forward with you.
Can add duty, devotion, and discipline.
Of course, ma'am and sir. And now that we're talking about that, it's been 50 plus years. There's Sunbeam International, Varuna now. We have so many associates, we have so many branches. There are so many majestic stages where students come up and give their voice. So now that Sunbeam is on such a high pedestal, a household name, what are the emotions that you two feel as the trailblazers of this amazing institution?
See, now the total strength of the Sunbeam's children who are saying Jai Hind, not only in Varanasi, I call it the Jai Hind Brigade. It's everywhere, from Balia to Sultanpur to Mirzapur and to Jaunpur to Gazipur to Dildar Nagar. And that strength is how much? 36,000. So from 38 children in 1972, after 52 years, 36,000 students and almost about 6,000 staff members. So that revolution in education, that bringing together of the East and West, we do not at Sunbeam, we respect the culture, the religion, the history, the music of India, and we also take you to the Western techniques, to the best modern ways of educating you. It may be smart boards, it may be AC classes or buses or whatever. The best in the world, we are giving it to you. And that's the reason when we go to Delhi, we go to Mumbai, we just go to the conferences, even abroad. We were in London for this. We keep traveling all over the world. And we bring the best of the world to Sunbeam Varuna. And that's the reason why Sunbeam Varuna is excelling. Sunbeam is doing so well.
As your question says, how do we feel? I feel more responsible. I feel little scared also, because when so many people have that faith, that confidence in you, that Sunbeam will do justice with the most important people, that's children. Sometimes you don't know your importance. The fact is, you are the future. You're not only the future of this city, but future of India, future of the world. And I only hope and pray, and every day my prayer to the God is, may God give us the right direction. Because if we go wrong, it's a big responsibility, isn't it? We have to give the best to our country. Each child who passes out from Sunbeam should be a true Indian, should have that emotion of doing the best for the country. And these values, I hope and pray that people, the teachers who are interacting with you, they are passing it on to you. We have to make good engineers, doctors, lawyers, or whatever, but first of all, we have to make you good human beings. And I feel very, very responsible for that. So, if I've answered your question, and I, solicit all the teachers' help in doing that. I'm sure you too must be feeling responsible for this. It's not that we are passing on, finishing their syllabus and sending them to the next class. It is a responsibility. We are nurturing human minds who can do wonders. So let's do it with utmost honesty.
See, the human child is the most wonderful gift of nature. There is nothing more beautiful than a human child. And when you have a child with you who has to grow up, a boy or a girl grows up to be a lady or a gentleman, and the future, the future is yours. After 50 years, 30 years, 20 years, you will remember today. You will remember what we were talking to you. It might be a longish time you are sitting here in the audience, but as a wonderful gift of God, that responsibility of taking you to the right direction is something which we always feel weighing on our shoulder. Because how much is a child worth? Billions of dollars? Or how much is a childhood worth? One child is worth all the money, all the assets, all the flyovers, all the fighter jets, all the tanks of this country. One child can do it.
Of course, sir. As our Sunbeam anthem says, we are the students of Sunbeam, over the whole world we shine. Thank you so much, sir and ma'am, for answering all of our questions. Now let's move on to the faster part of the interview, the rapid fire round. So are you ready for it, ma'am and sir? Sure. A strong coffee.
We are very scared also. I usually this rapid fire thing.
No, it's not intimidating, sir. A strong coffee in the morning or a kadak chai?
Kadak chai for me.
Very, very kadak chai for me.
If you were to be a celebrity for a day, who would you choose to be?
I want to be Alexander the Great.
I thought I was one.
You are, ma'am. The best piece of advice someone has ever given you?
The best piece of advice? To resign from my civil services. I was a UPSC officer and work in Sunbeam.
To marry him.
Ma'am, you are saying all the correct things after I have spoken. So this time I am going to speak after you.
If you could learn a language, what would it be? If you could learn a language, what would it be?
I'm not very good at Punjabi. I'm not very good at Bengali. So Bengali, I find it very, very sweet. If I have to learn one language, probably it would be Bengali. Though I like Punjabi also, because in the family, lots of members, they speak Punjabi too.
If I learn a language, I would learn. I love English. I love Hindi also. So I'm fine with these languages. I don't want to learn a language.
Favorite dessert?
Tiramisu.
Caramel custard, the great.
Thank you so much, sir and ma'am, for this amazing interview. We've gathered a lot of insights.